I am relatively unsure how I'm gonna go about this video, mainly because now it's more apparent than ever. So, in case you guys don't know, to those who don't follow me on Twitter, a huge discussion has popped up amongst the voice acting community, especially the professional voice acting community, where it has come to everyone's attention that making online content like a bridge series or even making fan dubs, it can be a detriment to your career. And this is honestly one of the bigger things that bother me and scare me and make me wonder if what I'm doing is even right, because I really do enjoy making How to Be an Adventurer, but I also see it as a limitation to its medium. I don't think that it's going to be good for me, and there's already proof of how that ultimately affects people who want to be voice actors, who end up trying to become voice actors for bigger, dubbing companies and stuff like that. But the reality is that it's dangerous. It's dangerous to do this. I'll give you guys to the best example, because this is actually something that began at the beginning of this year, and I even made a video about that, which is talking about Team 4-Star. In case you guys don't know, Team 4-Star ended up quitting Abridging altogether, and they decided to just start creating online content. While it is still anime based and anime related, there were a lot of concerns that involved themselves within this business. For example, in case people don't know, people within Team 4-Star actually got casted in the Fairy Tail anime, I think a few years ago. It wasn't until later on that they, I guess, were blackbarred from Funimation. I could be completely wrong, but as far as I know, that they have had a very, very rough relationship with Funimation at a certain point. And this is mainly because of license holders. Those are the people that own the license for Funimation, Crunchyroll, Sentai, Viz Media, and so on and so on and so on, to buy and then allow them to dub that content here in the United States. Now, the confliction between license holders and considering when it comes to casting somebody could have a negative aspect about you, or have a negative aspect about your career, or have a negative aspect about what you've done before, and it can affect your casting opportunities later on down the line. More recently, in case you guys haven't seen the tweet longer version of how Martin Billany, or Little Karibo, had felt after he had just recorded for a role, and then it was immediately revoked and he was removed after he had recorded that role, and somehow a license holder found out who he was, and he was basically, ousted from being able to do a dub project, which I think is very unfair. In my opinion, yes, I truly do understand this concept of what we do is not exactly legal, and it's not exactly the best thing ever. And I do understand that what we end up doing is really this grander scope of, bringing something to the table. But as far as we should understand, the people who end up making these animes, who own these projects, even I would not dare to step to Fujino Mori and show him any of this. I feel like that would be a grand disrespect on him and the projects that he had committed himself to. And this leads to another point, because this is actually something that I feel like we should have been talking about for the past several years. And this is actually something that I tried to talk about, but I did it wrong. 4 years ago, I expressed my dissatisfaction with how I cannot get my audience to move in the direction that I want it to. And you guys have been listening to me talk about this rhetoric for years. But now is the most important time to actually talk about it, and I'm going to talk about it in a way that is logical and fair. So first and foremost, I have expressed that I want to move away from abridging. I do not want to do it. Unfortunately, I am not in a situation where that is financially viable. Unfortunately, I dug myself this hole. not on purpose, but it was something that ended up happening because I not only wanted to make sure that I can continue making content past Abridging, but unfortunately, it feels like people are still tied to the idea that when I made my Patreon, it was specifically to make a Bridge series, which is not the case. I expressed this 4 years ago, that my goal is to make anime-based content, not anime parodies. The problem is that is the content that doesn't get watched. Unfortunately, due to YouTube's system and its algorithm and the way that my viewers perceive my channel, that is not something that is possible. And I would dare to try and say that I was also not treated very well when it comes to talking about something like this. It's happened before. And it happened 4 years ago. It might happen again today. Considering the fact that I do not have the same relationship with the Abridging community like I used to, I genuinely do not care about what people have to say this time. Because back then, my relationship with the Abridging community really did depend on who was going to remain a part of my cast or not. And to be quite honest, it's devastating to know that. But one of the big things that I would like people to try and start the conversation with is the fact that the content that we create is not good for us, and it can actually burn us. My big goal at the end of this while making anime-based content is still to become a professional voice actor, to still be in dubbed anime, to still be in cartoons, to still be in video games. That is one of my biggest things, and I do not want this one thing, this one aspect about my channel to haunt me for the rest of my life, preventing me from actually enjoying and being a part of a community that I actually want to be a part of. And that terrifies me. That terrifies me to absolutely no end. And one can only imagine how terrifying that is, considering how small on the scope that I am in the grand scale of things. This is the reason why what I said 4 years ago still makes sense now. I do not want this channel to be known as How to Be an Adventurer. This channel is Yaro Shien for a fucking reason. And even then, now it feels like the name Yaro Shien is nothing more than this tainted thing about Abridging, and it will never be able to escape that. I will have to leave that name behind at some point. Instead of me enjoying making shows like spicy anime reviews or any analysis, I even wanted to try and make a brand new series this year called Journey to Japan. That was completely overshadowed by making Fate Zero, How to Be an Adventurer. One video that I posted last year has 1 million views. Nothing I ever make will ever compare to that one video. And it sucks. It sucks to know that, because what ends up happening is that YouTube sees that this big content exists, and then the rest of the content is nothing but cannon fodder. And that also follows along with the general viewership as well. I really do push as much content as I can in between making these huge projects, because if I don't, I am just literally thrown to the wayside in YouTube's recommendation system. And that's not to say that I don't produce other content, and of course I've already expressed spicy anime reviews and, you know, various other things. I also do sound design for animators, and I've also produced a D&D show, which I am very proud of. I very much love doing D6 Dawnright, and creating a separate channel for that has actually proved a benefit to it, but it's still a detriment because I'm not seeing anything back from that in ad revenue. No matter what I do, it's not going to succeed like anything else that I do. No matter what I do, no matter what video idea I come out with, the only way for me to succeed is if I get rid of How to Be an Adventurer, which is something I don't immediately want to do, because if I do, then I am at the beholden of those who decided to donate to the Patreon with the idea that I'm still going to make How to Be an Adventurer, which is not the case. I have expressed this on Patreon time and time again. Patreon is not for How to Be an Adventurer. It is for me, for Yaro Shien. Yaro Shien makes anything he wants to when he can. And I feel like this is not something that will get across very easily for a lot of people. So I will have to express this again and again and again. I am Yaroshien. This is my channel. And anyone that has a problem with that, you can unsubscribe. I don't mind that. I do not intend to only make How to Be an Adventurer. How to Be an Adventurer is a project that I have been able to create due to your support, which is something I truly love and understand. And I really want to keep pushing forward as far as I can for how long I can. But I do not want it being a detriment to my career. I do not want it being a detriment to the very thing that I wish to establish as Aaron, as Yarrow. A lot of people can scream and yell at me and tell me I'm wrong, or that I'm stupid, or that, you know, I'm making baby noises. That doesn't matter. That legitimately doesn't matter. It's stupid, it's childish, it's unprofessional, and it comes from this place of either misguided understanding or jealousy. That's the way I had imagined it. It could be something completely else, and somebody could try and explain it to me, but I don't think an excuse for the reality that we're facing now is exactly good. My sum total response to this is that if you decide to get into Abridging, know what you risk. You know, either hide your name, hide your face, never try and express more than what you think could be a detriment to your well-being. Don't expand on YouTube. Don't expand on that. As soon as you manage to get into the professional field, no matter how long it takes, abandon Abridging as quickly as possible. You know, and try and save face. Try to remove yourself away from that whole aspect. Never put your name out there in a certain light. To those of you who want to just be voice actors and never make an Abridged series, think about what you would like to remove from yourself. You know, manifest destiny, change your own life, you know, rewrite your biography. I don't know, something about, you know, high hopes, Brendan Urie, joke. I purposefully do not say my full name. And I also purposefully do not try and present myself as Yaroshien. I express that, hey, I make anime-based content. Like what? I make people eat hot noodles and try and review an anime with their mouth on fire. People look at me like I'm insane, but they laugh. They all laugh. And it's perfectly legal for what I do. But, you know, it's a fun thing to do. And it's not something that people are going to say, well, let's not cast them in anything because of that. For those who would like to try and actually get into voice acting, I don't know what to really tell you. Take classes. To be quite honest, the only reason why, you know, I think half the people that end up in Bang Zoom is mainly because they take all of their classes. Yeah, it's pricey, but, you know, get a day job, I guess. For a lot of people that end up actually saying, you know, maybe I should get a day job, man, do you know what the fuck I do? I'm a sound designer, I'm a director, I'm a voice actor, I do a lot of shit. You know, I'm not sitting here on my ass, you know, raking in money on Patreon. Are you fucking kidding me? And I guess number 4, even though you managed to get a whole bunch of voice acting stuff, just be prepared to just remove yourself in a situation. I've seen a lot of people who have worked with me move into professional voice acting very, very fluently, but they did it in a very skillful way. And I'm not going to name names because I think that'd just be detrimental and rude and terrible to another person. I think it should also go to show that, you know, there is a chance. I've seen people, you know, stride in the professional field after working with people like me. And finally, I guess this goes out to the YouTube community. I don't really know what else to say. I've said it a million times and a million times more. You guys need to be attentive. You guys actually have to be attentive with the content that is created by the people you subscribe to. I do not subscribe to more than 100 people on purpose. And this is mainly because that at a certain point, I am losing the ability to be attentive to anyone that I subscribe to. When you subscribe to me, am I a part of your 100 channels? When you subscribe to me, am I somebody that important that you want to keep up with in all the content that I do? Because the moment that you decide to not watch this one video, YouTube sees that as I'm not going to recommend any of the videos he does. I think that the system is bad, not just for me, but for everyone. Where, you know, the big problem with this algorithm is that instead of recommending all the videos that this creator is making, you are only choosing these select videos that this creator is making, which is now a huge detriment already to their channel. And lastly, you know, I really like to ask any of my fellow creators, both D&D, anime, voice acting, be supportive. A lot of us don't want to do this on purpose. Me, for example, I do not want to be here. I don't want to be stuck in the crossroads of bullshit that I'm in. And I genuinely wish that I can move on from this so that way I don't have to really depend on it, because now I am stuck in this situation. And in order for me to leave, I have to risk financial failure because of the perception that was built upon by my fans, and even to an extent by me. You know, I really do wish to express this to everyone, not just only just my fellow creators within my communities, but also to professionals as well. This is not something that we ultimately want. It is something that ultimately has happened. This whole thing terrifies me. It scares me. And, you know, it makes me worried. I've confided in a friend about this, mainly because of just my general fears. And, you know, it's not a situation, you know, that anybody would want to ever be in. So yeah, that's all I got. In case you guys are interested in anything else that I do, you know, I would like to start bringing back some of the shows that I have been producing. Also, over on the D6 channel, and I'll leave a link down below, or I'll put it here in the end descriptions. Me and my friend Joe and I decided to look at a whole bunch of D&D fan art and come to a conclusion on whether or not it was cool or cute. I really do recommend it. And also, you know, if you subscribe to that channel, you are actively, you know, saying that, hey, I want to watch your D&D based content, and that would be something I really appreciate. So there is that. Thank you guys so much for watching, as always, and hopefully I will see you all in the next video.